So many countries are hand wringing about their birth rate decline, the fertility rate. And China is no exception. I've talked about China before. I've talked about these various articles where the Chinese government and other Asian countries' governments are just hand wringing, trying to figure out how to get women to have more babies. Now, I am going to attach a woman's videos, three of them, where she is talking about what is going on at ground level, what women are dealing with day to day from China, from the Chinese woman's perspective. These governments are strictly talking about numbers, and they are not talking about the things that are going on in China in the culture that says that men are not supposed to or will not do any participating with childcare and housework. And that is probably why women are saying, get someone else to do it. Now, before I attach that those videos, if you're on my YouTube page, I'm just going to paste it right after this video. If you're on my TikTok page, I'm just going to embed it in the comments and you can watch her videos yourself. China population with falling fertility rate and unavoidable norm. Beijing told focus should shift to people, not numbers. China's birth rate peaked in 2016, with the number of newborns falling by around 40% over the last 5 years to the lowest total in modern history last year. The Institute of Public Policy at South China University Technology says China's focus should be on the quality of fertility services instead of fluctuating birth rates. All right, the article. China should focus less on fertility rates and the number of births and instead focus on providing better services for prospective parents while also respecting people who are reluctant to start a family, as it faces a potentially irreversible population decline, according to a Research Institute report. Calls for demographic solutions have been unabating since China's overall population suffered a first decline in more than 6 decades last year, while new births also dropped below 10 million for the first time in modern history, with no positive turning point in sight. A demographic crisis is set to remain one of the most profound challenges to China's slowing economic growth. Fertility policies should focus on ensuring the reproductive environment for groups with strong current fertility demands while being inclusive of those with weaker fertility intentions, according to a survey published last week by the Institute of Public Policy at South China University of Technology. The statistics should stop being overly focused on fluctuations in fertility rates or on the number of births. Beijing continues to search for ways to ease its demographic crisis and rolled out a slew of pro-natalist policies. However, demographers believe that it would take time for the public to rebuild trust lost during the pandemic. Now, I have access to TikTok. I listen to women, and yes, the pandemic happened, but what also happened during the pandemic is that these ex-wives showed that they were not going to help. I'm going to play this woman's video, but she seems to have quite a few videos. And this is a global phenomenon. If these people would just ask women why they're not having babies, women would say it's because the men think that they do not have to help in the household. If a person that is just watching all of these things from my phone, can figure out these things, why won't they just simply watch the same videos, talk to women? They won't do it because that would require a whole societal shift, and that men should actually help participate in the home. Men should participate in doing things like washing dishes without breaking glasses. It is crazy what women have to go through where we have to baby babies and tiptoe around asking supposed partners for help. All right, let me continue with this article. Greater attention should be paid to data changes related to improving the quality of child rearing, including but not limited to changes in the scale of daycare facilities, the enhancement of prenatal and postnatal care quality, and increased investment in preschool teacher training. Last year, the number of kindergartens in China fell for the first time in 15 years, while the number of students enrolled in kindergartens and preschools also dropped. Unlocking reproductive potential requires a family-friendly and child-friendly environment that values individual development, family welfare, and easing of work-family conflicts, the survey added. Analysts have said births in China could plunge further to between 7 million and 8 million this year, further clouding its demographic outlook. Now, look at this red highlight. China's fertility rate dropped to 1.09 in 2022, down from 1.3 in 2020. That is, on average, one child per woman. The replacement rate is 2.1. Women are saying once they have this one child, they're not getting any help. And this number is probably going to plunge further because 2023 is ending. I'm sure that they see the writing on the wall with the amount of births. I'm sure that they see these numbers that we don't see as the public. But why? Why are women refusing to have kids? These leaders, these researchers won't touch the society issues that says that men can just just opt out. They can just opt out. They can just act like they're dumb, like they don't know how to change a diaper. They don't know how to warm up milk. They give best practices on how to act incompetent to each other. And like women don't see this. We can see them giving advice on how to play dumb. We can see these things. And so when you have a whole generation of women that are saying that, they're showing what is going on once they have kids, you have another generation that's like, nope, I do not want to go through that. So they can sit up and talk about the low fertility rate. They can talk about the policies that they're implementing. But until the mindset changes of the peen havers, women's wombs will go unoccupied. You guys can go ahead, chime in. If you're on my YouTube page, the videos are coming right now. If you're on TikTok, click this woman's playlist and watch these videos. It speaks to the global dustiness and why women are opting out and why the birth rate will continue to off a cliff. Y'all chime in. Let me know what you think.
What? Okay. Yeah, dude.
I have a story that will make your blood pressure go to the roof. So a couple years ago, a post went viral on Chinese social media. A new dad is asking for help. And his question is, we just have a newborn baby. And suddenly my wife starting to ask me to do a lot of things, like helping her with dishes, helping her with chore, and helping him with the baby. So the dad's question is, what can I do so my wife will not ask me for help? And hundreds of dads provide their advice to this dad. The answer with the second most like said, just play dumb. Every time when your wife asks you to do anything, just play dumb and make things messy. Like you have a low IQ, you don't know how to function, you don't know how to do. Even she told you a million times how to do those things. Just pretend you don't know how to do those things. And eventually she will never ask you to help with anything. That is the second most like answer. Let me tell you the top most like answer. So the top most like answer is actually a reply to the second most like answer. So top like answer said, okay, that is so immature. Let me tell you how I handle it. So every time when my wife asks me to do something, I will immediately do it. And sometimes I will even voluntarily to help her with certain things, like cleaning the dishes or helping with the baby, change baby's diaper or feeding the baby. But I will intentionally to mess things up. Like every time when I voluntarily to feed the baby, I will make the milk too hot or too cold. And every time when I voluntarily to do the dishes, I will break a glass or two. So every time I will mess things up on purposely. But every time I will voluntarily to help with my wife. So she will feel grateful that I'm willing to help. And she will understand that I want to help. I just cannot help her because I cannot do it as good as she did. So at the end, my wife stopped to ask me for help, but she also really appreciated that I want to help. And thousands of dads copied that answer and said, bookmark it, learn it. I'm gonna do it when I have a kid. The worst part is, there are thousands of those kind of men in this world, and they're not ashamed about it. And you know what is worse than weaponized male incompetence? It is glorified male incompetence. And I find that many older generation, especially older women, will even be on the side with men with their male incompetence. For example, here is another story that will make your blood pressure go to roof. So I have a cousin who is married and she loves eating 大闸 crab. In case you don't know what is 大闸 crab, it is a delicacy in China from Shanghai. It is very delicious. However, that kind of crab is really small. So deshell meat from 大闸 crab is really time consuming and require patience. So my cousin actually learned how to deshell 大闸 crab online. Like she's really good at it. And that is the reason how she met her husband, because her husband is from Shanghai. They met over 大闸 crab. So her husband also know how to eat 大闸 crab properly. However, since they get married, her husband has never ever deshelled 大闸 crab by himself ever again, because he always asked my cousin to do it for him. And the worst part is my aunt will encourage this behavior. Like she always tell my cousin, the reason why your husband asks you to do things is because he is acting cute. He's depending on you. That is his way to show you that he loves you. So you have to do it for him. He can do it himself, but he asks you to do it for him, which means he loves you. And the moment when me and my cousin heard that sentence, our expression is like this. What? Like, weaponize male incompetency is one thing, but glorify male incompetency, and not just by men, from women, is another thing. It's just ridiculous. No matter you're lazy or dumb, you are lazy and dumb. How come when men are lazy and dumb, it is cute, but when women is lazy and dumb, it is lazy and dumb? Stop glorifying male incompetence and stop intolerant male incompetence. We need to break the generation curse. And you know, here's another story I heard from 小红书. So a girl posted and said that she has a boyfriend who exactly like that woman's husband, who is just plain dumb and lazy, like weaponized male incompetence. But she's not giving him, and she did not dump him either because she thought she can train him. So she used a thing which in Chinese we call it 用魔法打败魔法. Like you can only fight magic with magic. So that girl become more dumber and lazy than her boyfriend. And their house gets so messy. One time she swears she saw the cockroach leaving their apartment because their apartment is so messy, so dirty. And she rather buy new underwear instead of doing laundry. So after like 2 and 3 months like that, her boyfriend cannot handle it. And so he tried to negotiate with his girlfriend, like, okay, we cannot do it like this. We have to do something. So that girl said, okay, you do one thing, I do one thing. That's the fair thing to do. So then start to split everything to have. And now the boys know how to do chores now. And he also starting to do chores without asking the girl at all. Just when the girl thought she trained the boy broke up with her because the boy thought she's too pushy. And 8 months later, that boy married to a different girl. But the story did not end there yet. Originally, that boy got divorced 2 years after marriage. Apparently, his ex-wife also cannot handle his laziness and leave him. Some people can be trained, but some people just won't because they're really that lazy. So here's